Movie Holics! What up, guys? I'm Kyler Wilson.
I'm Monica Kasuric.
And this is another episode of The Before,
The After,
and The After. And guess what we're doing? Batman v Superman!
in case you didn't know.
I'm Team Batman, actually, but I just figured
Wait, what were you doing with your hands?
This?
Oh, it looked like you were doing...
I'm not shaking the boobs.
It looked like you were doing Mardi Gras.
I'm self-conscious now.
No, hush. You can't even tell. Shut up. You ain't got no boobs. God, it was just emotion. Anyways, welcome back, friends. Movie lovers alike. Connoisseurs of the film.
I don't know where she's going, but it's great.
Put them titties away!
Oh, anyways. Batman v Superman. Here we go. We sat on it a day, and I'm good. I'm like it's not worn off on me or anything. I'm still in a good spot with it. How about you?
Yeah.
She's a little on the fence in the first place, though.
Yeah, I already was looking at this movie as garbage. I was already ready for it to not be blown away by anything this movie had to offer to me.
That said, but I guess before we get started, you might notice there's a little difference with the cameras. Trying something a little new. Let us know if you like it. If you don't, we'll go back to the old format. But we just wanted to try something a little different. And I like it right now, at least. We'll see what happens when I start editing this. So let's talk about the previews. Ratchet and Clank is about as ratchet as it gets. I finally found a time when it's acceptable to use that word.
When you can say ratchet?
When you can say ratchet. You can say ratchet when describing this movie. This
and it's bad because you can't even say ratchet now without thinking about some ratchet looking person.
I did
not like this game as a child or younger years. I did not like this game. I had no interest in this.
I have no idea who in the hell they polled to see if they wanted this game.
Let's revive Ratchet and Clank. Couldn't we have used that money on something like Final Fantasy or
I don't know, any other game ever
that was more interesting than this? I mean, shoot, could have came out with a Smash Brothers movie. I'd watch it more than this.
I mean, I'm more excited about the Angry Birds movie, legitimately, than I am Ratchet and Clank. So, call me a hater. That's fine. I will not be seeing this at theater. I probably won't review this movie. Yeah. Moving on, Free State of Jones. I don't think we've been able to talk about this one yet. Because I think we saw the preview during one of the films we didn't do a before and after on. Civil War film. I think it looks really good.
It looks really good. I'm afraid it might be
I don't feel like it's a theater movie.
Because they put in a lot of good stuff in the preview. And movies like that usually ain't that fast paced.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, it'll definitely be a red box or you'll purchase it for sure. Though.
Yeah, I think I'll end up owning that one. Because it looks like a performance film, and I'm totally into that. So, but yeah, if I were you, I'd probably skip it at the theater. Warcraft, same trailer, had nothing different. Here's what's funny: 1, 2, 3. The three trailers after this, after Warcraft, were all different trailers than we've seen. But this was the exact same one, nothing different.
Which is funny because I know they released a second one, but I guess...
Was it an actual trailer, though, or was that was that a clip?
Ooh, I think it was clips.
So, I'm going to be seeing this at the theater.
But, yeah, it still got me riled up and ready to go.
So, yeah, it looks great. Ghostbusters, this was the international trailer. Monica laughed once, and I was ashamed that she did. But
I know I was sad I laughed too, but it was the part where the black lady didn't get to crowd surf because she's black.
Or a lady, one of the two.
Or a lady.
That was the joke.
Either way, she is pissed.
Yep. And
I feel like
there's something mildly comedic about it, but it just still...
Ultimately, it does fall flat after the first time just because we've heard this joke before.
Yep. I really seriously, like... Oh, God. If we get paid to go review this movie, I'll go review it.
I just won't eat no popcorn. No, I'll eat popcorn.
So I would skip this at the theater.
Yeah, but the theater laughed their butts off.
It was just like, yeah.
It made me feel like maybe I'm too stuck up. Maybe I'm too fancy with movies. Maybe I just can't enjoy them like people. Like
regular folk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
no, it's.
I bet you won't get no 20% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh god, I can't wait to get to talking about this. Moving forth, the new X-Men trailer. Look, you tagged me in a post. It's better than the first trailer, but I still have the same problems with this. I
feel like I don't like half the people in this movie.
Yeah, I hate Mystique. I'm not a fan of Jean Grey in this. Storm has gone Mohawk for some reason. It's just kind of weird to me.
She was Mohawk for the longest time in the comics and the cartoon.
I get that. It's
just making sure before somebody tries to cut you down.
But we can't ignore the fact that
we jumped
that we're using we're using the original 3 movies. It's still the foundation of this entire scenario, and I don't know, it just.
I mean, I'm guessing it'll be appealing to the eye to watch. But ultimately, I feel like it's gonna be empty.
I want them to sit down somewhere and.
Can we leave the bridges alone?
Once this movie's done, just let it sit and then just let it die and then recast for a brand new X-Men that has nothing to do with any of the X-Men's that we've currently had. Because I could literally talk about this for 3 hours.
But this ain't that type of show.
This ain't that type of show. So, moving on. The Nice Guys. Oh, wait. On X-Men.
I know we're gonna go
see it, but I'm not gonna like it.
But people should not be, I'm gonna go see it. That's sad when you do that.
Agreed. The Nice Guys. This was a trailer I hadn't seen.
Yeah, I hadn't seen this.
It
was more fun.
The original trailer I liked in the first place, but this trailer was even better. And you know what I like most about the fact that I like the second trailer? I still don't feel like I know a whole lot about the film. And
I know it's what is going on? That's what we need more of.
Don't lay it out, Don't
tell me everything that's gonna happen.
Oh, these marketing teams.
It still looks fun. It still looks intriguing. I think it'll be a good time. It's not like anything else right now.
Yep, 70s period piece, when that car goes crashing through that house, that was amazing. It got me going. I actually jumped, legitimately.
Pretty funny.
I would see it in theaters if I were you. Fantastic Beasts and where to find them.
They are really skimping on this preview. They have yet to show us anything new with this.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if that's for the good or for the bad. But for us saying, they usually show too much in the preview, I kind of like it. I'm still intrigued.
I'm not a huge fan of the Harry Potter movies because they were so different from the books. But this isn't based on a book, so to speak. I mean, it's a book inside of the book, and it's not a narrative fictional story. So they can kind of do whatever they want. So it might be okay. Mm-hmm. And I might dig it. But if it's anything like the original films, I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of those movies. But you are kind of interested in it, I guess.
That one's kind of fun. I don't know. Because I think the Harry Potter movies are kind of fun.
And you're a Redmayne fan.
Yeah, I like Eddie Redmayne.
So, who knows? I mean, it could be great, but,
We'll see.
We'll have to see. So those are the previews. Going on to the film, we got a good amount to talk about. We'll let you know when we're going into super spoiler territory. Clearly, anything that we talk about is going to be kind of spoiler because you don't know. I mean, you know a lot going into this film if you watch the freaking second preview, but we'll be talking about things that you wouldn't know from the preview. But when we get into major spoiler territory, we'll be sure to let you know to go away. First thing I want to address personally, and this was my request, was I don't know what would you call it, a PSA? Am I PSAing right now or what? The question is it for kids? And I don't know. I feel obliged to mention that your kids are probably not going to like this film if they're under 11 or 12 years old. Do you think that's a fair statement?
I think it's pretty fair because it's not, it's not like Marvel where there's always a comedic joke or there's always something happening. There's not many slow moments. With this, it was more, I feel like they tried to make it more story infused.
Yeah.
With a little bit of action. And that will put kids, based off of kids' reactions, I don't feel like this would be a film for them to completely watch. I imagine that a lot of those kids would actually slept through a lot of this movie.
The two next to us were like,
they were just chilling.
7 and 5 or something.
They didn't seem too interested, honestly.
And the girl clearly was not into it. Anytime a knife would come out, she would cringe into her parents. And keep in mind, I'm not saying that this isn't like an overly violent movie with like lots of cussing and sex or anything, but the themes are just so deep. Like, no kid cares about the legalities of vigilantism.
Nope.
And whether or not we should or shouldn't weaponize kryptonite.
Nope. I bet they probably didn't understand half the stuff Lex Luthor said.
No, it's just gonna be over their heads and
completely.
And again, not inappropriate for them. It's just they're not gonna like it. And not only that. All right, so I'm sorry. I'm going to go off on a tangent real quick about taking your kids to the theater. If you cannot control your mother freaking kids, and I'm not talking about from screaming, all right? Like that's all on its own. You've got to figure out a way to handle that too. But I'm talking about like if you can't stop your kid from kicking the person's chair that they're sitting in front of or behind, if you can't stop them from asking questions and ruining, 6-7 people around them's viewing experience, please don't take them to the fucking theater.
Because kids will ask questions.
It's just, and then they wouldn't stop them like that. They never said, shh, it's disrespectful to be talking while the movie's going. Like, what is it with y'all? Not you all. What do you mean, you people? Anyways, what is it with people that just they have no home training anymore, no common sense, no decency. Anyways, back to the movie. That was my tangent for the time. So I just wanted to make sure that people know this just is not, in my opinion, it's not intended for your children. Yeah, Batman's in it, Superman's in it. They fight for about 15 minutes, all right? And then if you saw the second preview, Doomsday shows up and then they fight him. And that lasts, I don't know, it was probably like half an hour or something. But that's you got to sit through 2 hours of movie to get to that. It's 2 hours of dialogue. They're not going to like it, I'm promising you. Anyways, I think we can move forward unless you have other things to say. No. All right. So we're going to talk about the plot and specifically about, was it too long? Now, typically speaking, Zack Snyder, when he releases his director's cuts or unedited or not unedited, but unrated, like The Watchmen, when he releases those, I tend to like them more. This was a 2.5 hour movie. So if he releases a 3-hour movie, I might like it more. And it might help the movie not feel as bloated as it is, and it might not feel like it jumps around so much. That said, do you think it was too long?
Yes.
Explain.
I feel like there's just too many things interjected that I really didn't feel like we needed to see, nor did it add anything special to the story itself, the movie itself. So, I feel like it was just a bunch of air just stuck in this chamber just to
I can think of, this is not spoiler related because you saw at least a piece of it in the theater, but I can think of one thing specifically that just stuck out like a sore thumb, and that was the nightmare sequence. I mean, theoretically, that was a vision given to him by one of the Justice League. But it just made no damn sense inside of this film.
It's like, why did we need all this? Oh, because we don't have that much action and we had to stick it somewhere.
It did kind of feel that way. Like, well,
why not
we
make
need
it into
another
a
action
nightmare?
scene. But see, if he releases this rated R edition and it's 3 hours long, there might be some preface to that, and it might make it all make more sense. You know what I mean?
Which is sad, because why didn't they just stick it out in the first place?
I hated The Watchmen, for the record, when The Watchmen came out in theaters. I did not like it at all. You remember that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I was not a fan. But then he released his, like, 3.5 hours long edition of it. And I watched that, and it blew me away. So, and that's not the only one that's happened with. I mean, his extended edition on Man of Steel and Sucker Punch, both I've liked more. So, you know, it might be a thing with him. So, there are scenes that definitely feel too long.
Like I was saying, I felt like I didn't care. We all know how Batman's parents died. I feel like that's been rammed in our heads since the very first beginning of the Batman.
Spoiler.
So, was that a spoiler?
No, I was just saying minor spoiler. It wasn't in the preview, so just.
So it's like, we get how that happened, but it's like, I want to know how Alfred knows the stuff that he knows. I want to know the background on Alfred.
Yeah,
but I feel like they always focus on the parents and not like, how in the world does Alfred know to do half of this stuff that he's doing?
Well, I think, and the fanboys can correct me if I'm wrong, but this isn't the Alfred from the Dark Knight trilogy or any of the Schumacher films, you know what I mean? So I think that this is an Alfred that exists in one of the storylines of Batman where he's able to help Bruce a lot more than just be his butler. That said, there was no clarification on it, and it would be nifty to get some sort of like backstory or something on
instead of the same
that versus we know how his parents died.
We really need 10 minutes of it. Yeah. I guess maybe they just wanted to shoot it more cinematically, I guess. I don't know.
You know, but it's just kind of a waste though, because we all know, we've seen it 1,000 times. I mean, not literally, but you know, figuratively, we've seen it 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. We've seen it shot brilliantly, and we've seen it shot not as brilliantly. We've seen it animated 1,000 times. You know, we just didn't need that again. I thought it was a poor way to open up the film.
Yeah.
Personally. That said, on the opening, sidebar, the first segment of Bruce Wayne being inside of Metropolis, when Superman and Zod were fighting, blew me away. Personally, I loved seeing that from the ground zero of it all. You know what I mean? Because we got it in the last movie, we got it all from Superman or Zod's point of view. We never really got the nitty gritty of it, like seeing those buildings fall, and like I was just like, I put myself in the mindset of like a person there, you know, and I was just like, Jesus, I cannot imagine what would be going through my head if this were happening, you know, and I thought it was a brilliant way to make Bruce Wayne not like Superman, because he doesn't know both sides of the story, but he's, you know, looking at it from the outside, and he's seeing like, well, he's the cause.
Right.
I thought it was good, a good way to do it. Back to it being too long though. There were just segments in the film that definitely felt like they just kept it going a little too long. Like you could have just trimmed a little there and trimmed a little there to make it, you know, 2 hours, 10 minutes, 2 hours, something like that, so that it didn't feel, all the Wonder Woman stuff, for example, it just, it's just it doesn't need to be in there. Like, you could have cut out every
We
single
know our
thing.
movie is on the way. We know. And if they show anything from this movie in that movie pertaining to this research,
I wonder what her movie's gonna be. I kind of feel like it'd be like an origin of some sort, but who knows? But you could have removed her from the movie legitimately, and
just had her show up.
you would have been fine.
Then maybe we would have been more excited for the Wonder Woman to be like, hey, like spinning off how we did Batman. Spin her off into, she's watching this from this outside. She's here for this reason. Like I said, if we go
and introduce her via something. I see what you're saying.
But if they, which they probably will.
But she occupies, her and her storyline occupy at least 15 minutes of screen time. And that's at least. It's just you think about all the segments where he's like looking at the files and stuff because of her, and he's going to this place because of her, and he's having this conversation because of her. But it was all not needed, So honestly, I think that she's probably the weakest point of the film in terms of like something that you could have just gotten completely rid of and been totally fine. You wouldn't have seen a difference.
Yeah, agreed.
Anything else that stuck out in your brain? Being too long? You want to talk about the law and stuff?
Oh, I don't feel like anything else was really. I can't think of anything else that was too long. I feel like we spent too much time in the dang reporter's office, but that's a whole nother. Why were we in there so much?
There's coworkers. They're trying to build some sort of character.
And why is it that whenever there is a massive situation going on outside, why does everybody stay?
That is astounding to me.
People in real life, if things like this are happening, I do not recommend staying there and watching this until the lights go out, until the building starts getting ate out. Like,
yo, here's the scene. Here's how it went down.
I would be out of there.
Twice in the movie. At the very beginning, when the Metropolis disaster was happening, the people are still in Wayne Tower, and they're watching all of this. Like, it's like 2-3 buildings away. And they're watching all of this, and nobody moved until Bruce Wayne calls and goes, "Get out of the building!" And they're like, "Oh, okay, we'll start evacuating."
I don't know about these people on TV and movies, but I know one thing. Based off the people of America today, everybody would have been like, uh-oh, I gotta go.
Right? Then later in the
everybody
movie,
would have been like, nope, I'm not putting my life in danger. I am leaving work right now, and you can't tell me nothing.
I'll sue you.
I will take my day off. Write me up.
Then later in the movie, it's at the Daily Planet.
Yeah.
When they're like watching this thing when this lightning storm happen right outside their windows, and they're all just sitting there until the lights finally go out, and they're like, "Oh God, we should get out of here." And it's like, you should have evacuated an hour ago. What's wrong with you?
But reporters got to be all up in the biz.
So
they're
ridiculous.
like, let's run down there, take pictures. But still, it's just like moments like that. It's just like, I know they have to have like.
There was other stuff that was that kind of, I don't know, I'm not sure if they didn't spend enough, or if they spent too much time on it, or if they just didn't explain it well enough, but like searching for the kryptonite and everything.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I feel like they were trying to make a lot of different additional things into the movie.
Yeah.
Storylines and situations that it was just like, are we going to continue this, or are you just filling me up again with this air?
It's true. It's just
like finding a substance and then somebody trying to weaponize it. Okay.
And that was Lex Luthor. And that's another thing is like, so they didn't, they spent all this time talking about Wonder Woman. They spent very little time talking or building up Lex Luthor. You know? It's like,
is he just gonna disappear after today?
Love to know a little more about him. Like who he was, what his motivations were. I mean, like. I'm not saying spell it out because I'm not a fan of like heavy exposition, but like
they didn't
show
put
us something,
as much focus. I feel like they kept trying to.
Yep,
and that's what I hate about these type of movies. They try to focus They want to make sure your focus is on Wonder Woman so you can go see the next movie.
Yeah, I mean,
and I hate that.
And that truly is a problem with the film. Is it was very concerned with setting up other movies, which I think is like when you're so focused on setting up other films, which is my problem with the Marvel movies, by the way. You don't focus on doing a really solid standalone movie. I mean, you're thinking the now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So this is still a mostly positive review, by the way.
Yeah,
we're just we're
touching on things that people touch.
Moving forward, I want to talk about the acting. All right, so let's talk about first Affleck as Batman, because that was everybody's biggest concern to start.
That was my biggest concern to start. Remember?
Personally, I will apologize to everybody because he did amazing in my eyes. I thought he was a great Batman. I thought he was a great Bruce Wayne. We'll talk about Bruce Wayne in a second. But I thought he did great as Batman. Like, I believed it.
He did a whole lot better than
suit, but
we'll leave clunky boots and we'll set clunky boots aside for a second.
She don't like the
Amy Adams was on GMA today, and she was talking about how they had to actually maneuver him in those damn clunky boots to try to. So she's like, he actually looks like he's really agile, but they actually have people moving him around in that damn suit, and I'm like, clunky boots. I hate it. Clunky boots. If it looks like it's not working, it's not, and so it takes me out of the reality of this situation. But aside from that, yeah, I kind of take back some things. I'm not gonna apologize.
I'll apologize.
But I think he did better. But here, my biggest thing is that I feel like I liked him more as Bruce Wayne than Batman. Ooh. Stuff that down your throat with some ice cream and syrup.
Who are you oohing? This girl, like, she just proved a point.
Proved it to like other people in my brain.
Like, she just burned somebody.
Burned my mind. No.
I mean, I liked him as. I mean, so
I did. He did better than I thought he would. Who are they gonna make the funny one out of this, or is this just all gonna be just? You think they're gonna try to make somebody funny?
I think all of them end up having their like little quippy one. You know, like Batman.
I'm scared they're gonna try to make him funny. And it's gonna annoy the crap out of me.
I mean, Batman had one with the "thought she was with you." You know, that was the one. By the way, that was the one joke in the film. But Affleck as Batman, he did really, really well. I mean, I personally think it's the most badass we have ever seen Batman look. Ever.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Costuming looked good. Like, his suit looked good.
His
except for his
freaking heroic chin was so good.
I think that's what I didn't like about it.
What? That he has the perfect superhero chin.
I know, and I did not like it. It distracted me. I didn't, and I think that's why I say I liked him better as Bruce Wayne than Batman, because I feel like it was too big.
I don't know.
Too big here.
It's perfect for
Little
me.
here.
While I'm assuming that he did a lot of his own stunts, because I mean they could have like, you know, superimposed his face, I guess, but like it seems like he was indeed fit. Like, so this is we'll transition into Bruce Wayne. Here's a scene where he's working out of costume, clearly. How funny would that be though if he were in costume, just
Gotta reassure myself. Gotta make sure it still fits.
Anyways, he's working out, and this workout looks intense, and he is like swole. He has a good looking body. I mean, it's the perfect superhero body. Like him and Cavill both actually on their.
I couldn't stop looking at Superman. Like, what?
Dude, Henry Cavill
I feel like his suit was gonna bust open, and all you're gonna see is just.
Henry Cavill has bigger boobs than you. I'm convinced of it.
I know. I just want to punch him.
Anyways, on Affleck as Bruce Wayne though, he, you know, I think I was probably not quite prepared, because this is an older, more like rigid, frustrated Bruce Wayne. You know what I mean? And I'm used to like seeing the $1 billion playboy Bruce Wayne that is kind of like,
And I think
fake.
that's what I liked
And-
about this one. I liked the little gray hair. Because
Yeah.
it reminded me of when like they got to that point in like the cartoons of where he was older. And,
right.
Which, yeah, he did all right. All right, Ben Affleck.
And again, I straight apologize.
I don't apologize.
I
but
apologize.
Don't scare me like that again.
I mean, because...
you already are with this Flash person. We ain't gonna go there. We ain't gonna go there.
Well, I apologize to Ben Affleck specifically because, not that you watch this show, but...
It's so funny how I had such a deep irk for that to happen, but Wonder Woman, I'm just like, did not give two...
So let's move on to Cavill as Superman. So this seems to be one of the bigger things that people are freaking out about, is they don't think that he's a good Superman, and I just don't get it.
I don't see it. I don't understand it either. I feel like he is I feel like he acts pretty natural. I feel like what more are they looking for from him to do?
I don't know. I mean,
I feel like
I guess it's like they're wanting the campy Christopher Reeves Superman
that's
back.
what I think of when I think of Henry Cavill. I feel like he kind of mocks that a little, or not mocks it, but he resembles a lot of how he was just really quick, not much to say, but still just kind of like dumbfounded looking sometimes. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe because he looks dumbfounded sometimes.
But Christopher Reeve's Superman is just it's nothing but levity. Everything out of his mouth, like even when he's talking to bad guys, he's like he's the just, and this Superman is just not that person. Like, they were not trying to make that kind of a movie when they developed this character in the first place. They want this guy to be more, I don't know, realistic.
I feel like
I
he
guess,
is more realistic because he's an alien. If you were an alien going to a different planet, how would you're not going to be all...
But see, that's the thing, is like he's raised as a human, so like he has these human tendencies. Like he gets angry, you know what I mean? He's not a perfect person. He's not a perfect alien.
I feel like he's fine as Superman. I mean,
I think he's
I'm
great.
not expecting anything other than what we've seen. Like what?
Yeah, I don't. I think
are
he's
y'all
good,
just mad because he looks good?
And he looks damn good. And
that what? Is everybody hating about it?
There's just no. I just don't get it. Like he's a good actor. I mean, it's not like he's gonna go win an Oscar or anything, but he fits the part, man, and he looks good. And
maybe people got mad about him saying he just does it for the money.
More power to you, bro. Go make a few bucks. Let's talk about Eisenberg as Lex. This is the second polarizing topic. This is not the traditional Lex Luthor.
No, and I like it that way.
So do I. See, like you like it more than I think you do.
Well, because I love Jesse Eisenberg, number one. But number two, no, I feel like he is like a mad scientist. And I like that he has mannerisms that he adds to Lex Luthor. And his smarts run away from him. And it starts to combat in his mind. And it comes out. And so, of course, you're left like, he's so smart. I don't know what he's talking about, but he's making sense. But I liked it. I feel like that's how Lex Luthor would be.
Well, look, okay, this is not Lex Luthor as described in the comics,
right?
But
that's how I envision. I'm thinking,
like, why do you want the same thing every time? Like, why do you want Gene Hackman back? Like, why do you want people like? Said the one saving grace of Superman Returns was Kevin Spacey, which he was. But like, why do you want Lex Luthor portrayed the exact same way every time in every film? Why do you want Superman portrayed the exact same way every time in every film?
Keep doing
these? Why make a new movie? I mean, just like let the characters evolve with the actor. He brought something really new to Lex Luthor. One of the things I heard somebody say earlier was Jesse Eisenberg gave a terrible performance. I'm like, he didn't give a performance that you liked, but he did not give a terrible performance.
Not terrible. I don't agree with that at all.
You might not like it, and that's fine. I mean, you might not like his version
of it.
And I like
the aspect of it being flipped to him being more that younger, kind of not playboy, but the younger version as to where with the older Batman, as to where it's always usually younger Batman with older Lex Luthor. So I liked that. I think he did I think he really took this character into
Funny dogs.
a different spectrum, and I liked it because it made me want to know more. What is he thinking in his head? His goal was to make sense with not only with science but with law and with reasoning. He almost had that Donald Trump.
Eisenberg is Donald Trump.
Except with aliens. Actual aliens.
Actual aliens, not
aliens.
Not illegal aliens.
Outer space aliens.
Outer space aliens. Which are probably also illegal in the United States of America.
So I felt like, and I'm sorry if you got offended by Donald Trump, but it makes me think of that because he was so set on, hey, we got aliens up in here. We need to figure out a way to protect ourselves, and
I just am okay with a different interpretation of the character.
And it wasn't bad to me.
And yeah, people are like, it's not Lex. You're right. It's not Lex. It's not the traditional Lex that we've seen 100 fucking times.
Right.
This is a different Lex. And that's what I'm saying about, like, it's a different Superman. It's a different Batman. Like, we don't need the same crap.
I know, especially if they take him in the direction of him getting his own suit and actually becoming a part. Are you going to want the Kevin Spacey or Gene Hackman Lex Luthor? No, because it won't play well with that suit.
No.
Which I'm hoping they're going for, because I would like him to see him in the action, because I feel like he would fit really well.
Let's see what happens.
But people, quit being mad about it.
Dude, he was fine.
He was perfectly fine.
Now, let's talk about Gal. I don't know. It's Godot or Gadot. Godot.
Godot.
So I want first off, I'm fine with her look. I think she looked like a good Wonder Woman. Okay.
Yeah. I guess because just a tad. I feel like she had more. I wish she had more muscle, just a little bit.
Fair enough.
That's it. I'm not skinny shaming, but I understand what people said by she's too small. I feel like when I remember Wonder Woman and when I've seen I feel like she's a little bit more stout.
And tall.
And taller.
But.
And I know she's tall, but I feel like.
Is she?
She should have been.
She looks short as
hell.
hell.
I think she's 6'1".
Is she?
I think so.
What?
You got it pulled up right there. What does it say?
Do I?
It's sitting right there. I see it. I just can't read the numbers. I don't have
5'10".
Okay, 5'10". 5'10", but I feel like
that's my height.
I feel like what was Wonder Woman? How tall was Wonder Woman? I think Wonder Woman is probably like stupid tall. Let's see,
Stand by.
Wonder Woman height. I feel like she should have been towering with the other two.
Well, if what I remember is that
they were actually taller.
She was literally an Amazon, like.
So in the Secret Files in the late 90s, it says she was 5'11" and 135 pounds.
5'11" and 135 pounds?
I swear.
She's a stick.
I swear reading somewhere that she was huge. Like they were 7 feet tall.
I don't think they were that tall.
Maybe on their planet. But yeah, I feel like I kind of wanted her to be a little bit girthier. Or I feel like.
Personally,
I don't know.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with that aspect of it. I was okay with her acting, but I think you and I both agree.
Why?
Her accent.
Did she have that accent?
Was very bizarre. I'm not saying that
maybe
you can't have
forgot.
foreigners play Wonder Woman, so stop. But you got a woman that is from another planet with an Israeli accent. It just makes no sense to me.
Was it Israeli? It sounded Spanish to me. But that's the problem. Is that it didn't sound the same all the time. Yeah. I don't know if you caught that. Because I felt like she was trying to be more English. So, it was distracting. And I feel like it didn't fit. I feel like she would have been looked more Wonder Woman-like if she didn't have that accent.
Yeah. Fair enough. The costume was good, but it also wasn't very Wonder Woman-like to me.
It was too dainty.
It's just very dark.
Like, are we going to, like, a summer dance? Or are we going to fight some stuff? But I feel like it... And I guess compared to other Wonder Woman get-ups, there was too much skin.
Yeah.
Too much legs. Like, really? And I know it's sad to say because original Wonder Woman basically wore drawers.
Right.
I don't know. I just didn't like it. I don't like the uniform. I don't like the uniform.
Fine. That's fair enough.
The boots were about my favorite part, and that's it.
Not
enough gold.
By and large, I was fine. The accent to me was the weirdest, most bizarre thing. And it is what it is. It was their movie. I think she acted well though. So she acted
right.
well. It's just the accent was weird. So I want to talk. Let's move on if you're good. All right. I want to talk about the reviews. This movie currently has a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, now it's 29.
Well, it's 30 on the last refresh, so somebody might have
bumped it up.
Yeah.
30%.
So regardless, though, it's stupidly low. Stupidly low. People are saying it's too dark. It's no fun. It's all over the place. They actually read at least 3 comments that said, "Why don't you just bring back the Joel Schumacher Batman?" Which is who gave us Bat Nipples, by the way, with George Clooney. So, you're fucking stupid.
It wasn't that bad.
And
it was not that bad.
And let me just interrupt that phrase because I said that earlier. For us to say it's not that bad implies that it's somewhat bad. It's not a bad movie.
It's not a bad
at
movie.
All.
So it's got a little bit of clunk, a little bit of length.
I mean, there are things about it that are wrong, and there are things about every movie that's going to be wrong, but it is absolutely not a bad film. So I had to catch myself earlier from saying it's not that bad because I was like, wait a second. It would imply that there's bad. It's not bad. There are bad things about it, but it's still by and large, it's a good film, and it's not too dark. I mean, it's not like we had a Batman cutting people's heads off or something.
I know. I don't think it was dark at all. I mean, maybe that's just me.
Well, it's definitely dark in theme and whatnot. But I mean, it's not like, again, it's not like Saw or something.
Yeah, people are making it like it's a dang
to say
horror movie or something.
To say it's no fun as well is just, it's like, how did you not have fun seeing Batman and Superman fight each other? Like,
maybe because they had to wait so long to get
there
to
was
that point.
no element of fun. I mean, it's just some of these reviews are just insane to me. And then on top of that, I'm seeing some reviews that are genuinely positive, but they're considered negative reviews.
Yeah.
Like, what are you guys reading? I'm so confused.
So, it's really weird seeing these reviews.
Considering that we have movies like Daredevil, which currently sits at 44% on Rotten Tomatoes, and this movie is sitting at a 29 or a 30, it's just insane. And you fucking trolls go sit down somewhere. I know how Rotten Tomatoes works. I don't need you to tell me, Rotten Tomatoes works by just calculating the amount of positive reviews. We know!
We have an episode explaining that.
We have a full show dedicated to the way Rotten Tomatoes works. So I don't need you to tell me. Sorry. A little frustrating when people come onto the channel acting like they know something about us, but they don't know a damn thing. So,
Ooh.
it's a little frustrating. Anyways, it is being poorly reviewed, and I don't know, like, if it was just because they were wanting it to be the most amazing movie that they've ever seen ever, or what, but it
wasn't gonna be.
I mean,
I guess people were trying to come up in this thinking that it was gonna be something different. Like, let's be real. We know, I mean, at least I had the inkling that it was not going to be Batman versus Superman this entire movie. And I think that's what people were looking for. I think they wanted to see just an ultimate all-out brawl between Batman and Superman the entire time without any other...
With no plot?
Even with nothing.
I mean,
And so I was makes me wonder what they would have...
I do personally think that there was not quite enough of it. I mean, it's called Batman v Superman, and that is essentially a subplot of the movie. It's not like, I would have been fine with Dawn of Justice, you know what I mean? Like, just Dawn of Justice. But Batman v Superman, I don't know. It It certainly does imply that there's a little more involved. But see, that's not even something that people are mentioning all that much of. And so I don't understand what you people are wanting.
Yeah, and I don't feel like there's any clear distinction of what people didn't like about it. They just are just rambling. I feel like people are just rambling, and it's not. Give me some real examples.
Yeah, I mean, and there are people out there with that are giving some real examples of things they really don't like. But these are like when you go and you look at these people's review history, you'll see them like the things that they don't like about this movie are the things they like about other films, and it just seems like people are being really unfair to me. And giving it like 2 out of 5 stars and
maybe
stuff.
It's a way for them to be like, stop remaking these dang movies. Stop starting over.
Nah, everybody wanted this film. I mean, everybody wanted to see Batman v Superman. Well, any normal person, any normal fanboy wanted to see Batman v Superman. They've been talking about trying to make a Batman versus Superman movie for decades.
Until it involved getting the entire Justice League together. That's what happened.
I mean, so
they try to incorporate everybody and their mama.
So let's go into the Justice League. That's our next topic. It certainly all right. So we're getting into some spoiler stuff. Just to let everybody know, like this is where it's gonna start. Like, you already knew that some of the stuff was in it, but you don't know how. So at this point, if you haven't seen the film, you should probably turn off our discussion. So the biggest problem with this movie, as we said earlier, was the fact that it's trying to set up all these other movies. They tried to set up a Wonder Woman movie, a Flash movie, a Cyborg movie, and a Aquaman movie. And that was all so bloated and unnecessary to the film that this is where I think the biggest problem of the movie is. Again, if you get rid of Wonder Woman from the film, that helps a lot in terms of like just the cohesiveness. You don't have this other story you're trying to tell now. You get rid of that, and if you wanted to like have a hint of these files that they find, fine, but you didn't have to go into the 5 minutes of like letting us see every single video and like because you get to see Cyborg, you get to see his origin essentially. You get to see essentially. Not the origin, but I mean the intro to the Flash and of Aquaman, and it just
they weren't impressive. Number one,
yeah. So let's talk about Jason Momoa. He like all right,
just because he's cute,
y'all. If you're gonna do Aquaman, you better figure out a way for him to not look like he's holding his breath when he's underwater, because that's what it looked like in this, and it looked bad. It looked like he was...
It looked kind of bad. I mean, it didn't look right. It didn't look natural. It didn't look as natural as I thought Aquaman would look.
You think Aquaman, you see the cartoons and everything, and you see the comics, and he just looks like a dude in the water.
He's
nothing out of... But, like, this guy looked like a guy that was underneath the water holding his breath for dear life, So you're going to have to fix that. I don't know a whole lot about the guy they cast as Flash or the guy that they cast as Cyborg, but
Ezra Miller is Flash, and he's on some. I think he's on some CW show.
He kind of looks like Kylo Ren.
I think he plays Flash on one of the TV. No, he plays on some other show, but I'm not.
He might play one of the Flashes on the show because I think there's multiples.
Yeah, there's a bunch, but I'm not impressed by that choice. I guess I feel like Flash is...
He might be fine as... I mean, we just got one camera angle.
Yeah, one angle.
So we don't... And I don't personally know a whole lot about it, but this whole sequence was just like...
A waste of our time.
Yeah, it was a huge waste of time, and then they had to keep referencing it about these metahumans throughout the film, and every time they did, I was just like, oh, God, stop. Stop talking about the metahumans.
These gifted children throughout this world.
Let's focus on this one movie.
I know. They just interjected too much stuff.
So, in the haters' fairness, that is a part that is severely distracting throughout the film, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say about that. Anything else?
Mm-mm.
Boom. All right, so getting to the last few topics, I want to touch briefly on the action. I it sounds like you didn't really like the mech suit that much and the action that it resulted
Do
with.
not like clunky boots.
So,
Batman.
I personally liked it. I mean, I thought the action was really well executed. I felt the power.
I mean, I know they probably did it to show how strong he is in this big old suit. But it just was distracting. Like, fine, wear your Hot Topic 8-inch boots, platform boots. Try to walk around in there. Like, it even sounded heavy. And I'm just like, he ain't gonna move around in that. Like, let's get some agility in here, please. But I just didn't. I liked here, but I didn't like those heavy ass boots. I liked the Nightmare Batman suit, even though I feel like he was still wearing 8-inch platform boots. What's with the big boots?
I don't know.
Why is he wearing big boots, y'all? But is he trying to be taller? But overall, like his initial main uniform is awesome. Like, I like it. I like it.
Right.
But lights. Ooh, could you imagine wearing that mask with those lights in your eyeballs?
Well, I don't think he's seeing those. I mean, I don't know.
Somebody explain that to me.
I still
see it through light.
I still liked the fight though, and the action. Like, so outside of that fight, the action that the one action scene, the one heavy action scene that we got with Affleck, you saw pieces of in the preview, was really good. Like, the action between him, like, it's the closest to an actual Batman that I think we've ever seen. You know, like it reminded me so much of the way he's supposed to move and stuff. You know.
Yeah, and I think that's, even though I hate clunky boots, I know. I wish there was more of the
calm down.
Throwing stuff around over here. No, I mean, I like the one scene that we did get that, but I feel like they didn't use all his thingamabobbers.
Well, I think a standalone movie with him is
so. To me, I felt like Batman was almost weak sometimes, and we know he is kind of like the Captain America of the crew. Like, it doesn't have any special superpowers.
By that, she means useless.
I hate that. I feel like me personally, I like the action that they had, but I feel like they could have done more with Batman.
Let's move on to Doomsday, because this will get to your point. There's a scene when they're fighting Doomsday where Batman is literally just chilling on the sideline like, oh shit, that sucks.
What am I gonna do back here?
Superman and Wonder Woman are just like, pow, 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 and then Doomsday's, Tuh! And they go flying, and Batman's just like,
nothing, bros.
Yeah, you know, and it is kind of funny. I mean,
I just didn't like that. It made him, and I know, again, he's not as strong as everybody and their mama, but it just made him look like he was useless. And I was like, Batman is not useless.
In that situation, Batman is useless.
But he was in that situation, except for the one shot. But
the one shot of kryptonite gas that he was able to
make. He could make some weapons with some kryptonite.
Yeah, but
he didn't come prepared at all, though.
But see, when Doomsday reincarnates, the whole part of Doomsday's power is once he comes back, whatever killed him the last time can't kill him again. So they fucked. They should have just let Superman keep launching him into space, because Doomsday can't fly that I know of. I don't think so, anyway.
He can just jump. Oh, what did you think? Okay, so you caught a lot of flack for the look of Doomsday in the previews. What did you think of him out since you watched the movie?
There were two shots that Doomsday looked awesome. And they're very quick inserts of this.
He kind of let me think of like a mixture of E.T. and...
By and large, he looked like what I said. He looked like a cat turd rolled in kitty litter. and it didn't look good on top of it. Like, it looked like a bad CG version of a cat turd rolled in kitty litter.
It wasn't as good. I don't know.
And he didn't really look like Doomsday. He looked like the.
I don't think he looked
the troll from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah, you even mentioned that before. Let me pull up Doomsday here because I need a refresher on what he actually looks
Doomsday
like.
animated is awesome. Like,
He looks gorgeous.
yeah, he's such a cool bad guy.
Badass looking.
They could have done so much with him.
Like this. I know you can't see it.
I'll put that on. I'll put that on the screen.
But that looks awesome. Like, I'm scared of him.
Yep.
What?
Yep. Instead, like, and on top of that, like, there was some weirdness. Like, he doesn't have a dick. Which
He got pants on here, but he didn't have pants on in the movie.
he didn't have pants on in the movie, so
because he came from an egg.
and so he's dickless. But he kind of has this like weird slit that makes him look like he has a camel toe.
Yeah, it's weird.
It was a very bizarre. Like, Doomsday is, to me, the worst part of the movie.
Yeah, he looks so good. I just.
Yeah, and then we got that.
I'm kind of shocked because let's be real. I think America now has seen some awesome makeup, awesome CG, monsters and things like that. I don't understand why they couldn't simulate this a little bit more.
I thought the Doomsday in Smallville looked better than this Doomsday.
Like the Rock beard.
The Rock beard.
That was easy enough. But no, they didn't even give him the Rock beard, basically.
Nope.
He did. He looked like a little... Even the Doomsday in the video game. He looked good.
Yep.
Why could...
Yep. They missed it. They missed it.
Why?
Yeah, they missed it.
Is it you think because we had to put so many dang people in this movie we couldn't pay for a Doomsday?
I have no clue, but it's...
yeah.
very disappointing.
And watching it, I was just like, maybe it'll be better. I wasn't impressed by the Doomsday.
Yep.
At all. I feel like he looked slimy. I feel like he looked ugly, but not cool. He needed to be cool, and he wasn't.
All right, so
that character could have set the bar, and it didn't. So now it's like, well, what do we have to look forward to now? Is Cyborg gonna look like junk too?
Actually, Cyborg looked pretty good in the
He
film.
did look pretty good. So why did everybody spend all day on Cyborg but not Doomsday? Doomsday is like the... Oh, he's gonna be so...
Yep.
And it really sucks because seeing the World of Warcraft preview before this movie, I was like... The orcs look good.
For the most part. It still looks like CG, though.
But
again, I think
real
it's a
live action wouldn't work well with that anyway.
I think it's a stylistic choice anyways.
Yes.
All right, so I want to move on to the last topic, and it's the biggest spoiler of them all. So, again, if you haven't seen it, like, this is really a spoiler.
But most people that know...
If you know the comics, then you're probably expecting what was coming. So, Superman dies. He at least technically stays dead and doesn't come back. Although we do see this little thing on his grave where the dirt starts to rise. Now, as far as I know, Superman doesn't control things with his mind, so I don't necessarily attribute that to being...
Why did they do that? I guess I had no other way to really be like, guys... He gets okay.
But that might not... I mean, I'm just saying... I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm just saying that based on what we've been given, we don't know that was Superman coming back to life. That could have been some bad guy showing up or something. You know what I mean? Like, I know that might sound stupid to a lot of you. A lot of you probably... No, Kyler! He was clearly coming back to life. But I'm just saying, I don't recall telekinesis being in his repertoire of things that he can do. That said, I thought it was a very smart thing. I mean, smart isn't the right word. It was a risky thing that I liked a lot for them to keep him dead. Now, I know they're going to bring him back. I'm not stupid. I mean, he's getting us another standalone film. But for them to just like, all right, this movie's done, and there is no more Superman in this movie, I just liked it a lot.
I really liked, now that you said, I really liked when he was in outer space and he looked like the nasty Superman.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, but I know they're not going to do that. But
There's no telling what they could do.
number one, I love how they had the double funerals. People at the workplace still did not realize that they're the same person.
What?
Superman and Clark Kent.
Oh, I thought you...
Because they had the double
I thought you were
funerals
saying,
with the same
I thought
people.
you were saying people at your workplace
No,
didn't know that they were the same person.
at the Daily Planet. Still was like looking at the paper at Clark Kent dead, but then we got Superman on the other page dead.
Well, but the paper
know.
said that he died due to the attacks and everything. So, I mean, yeah, I get it. I've always said that
But
a pair
yeah,
of
I think
glasses isn't enough
that's
to
always
hide his
the
identity.
thing. But yeah, I think the death part was a nice. It's funny. I've said this before. I was like, it's funny that they even did that when we know he's gonna come back. So what was the point in them even killing him in the first place?
Again,
to make it more dark.
They're following a comic story, like,
which is cool.
So they did it, per this one comic that he fought Doomsday. Doomsday killed him, and then Doomsday ends up coming back, and so does I can't remember how Superman comes back exactly, but it happens.
If he comes back, y'all best come correct with that Doomsday. That's what I gotta say. So, and anybody else you add into this film?
So I really liked it. I liked the way that they ended the movie. There is no end credit sequence, so don't stick around for that. At least not in the standard version. There might
Everybody
be in the
thought
IMAX
they was
or
at a Marvel joint,
yep,
and
straight
they
up.
weren't.
Which honestly, on that note, I gotta give some credit to Marvel for getting people in that mentality because.
I know.
Because it keeps them through the credits, and that's not something I didn't used to sit through credits either. But I got in the film industry, and that's something I've done a lot is to sit through the credits of a film, just to see like who made this thing and Anyways, that was just a side note. That's all I got on the film. Anything else for you?
It's good to watch. We'll see what happens in the future.
I'm anxious to see more movies. I think they're going to be good. At least decent. And Batfleck has a standalone coming. And what?
I don't like Batfleck.
That's what everybody's calling
I
him.
know it. I hate it.
So he's got a standalone coming. He's in Suicide Squad at one point. So we'll see how that looks, and then we'll see how this new standalone Man of Steel is, and of course we're gonna have Aquaman and Wonder Woman and Flash and Cyborg. So we'll see. They're either gonna be terrible or they're gonna be great.
Oh my God, we're gonna be like 80 years old watching these.
I know.
And being like, wow. And then by that time they'll be rebooting them again.
I know. Yeah.
Why couldn't they say it with the original?
Yep. They'll be rebooted 3 times by then.
Oh God. Mm.
Anyways, that's all I got, and I appreciate you guys watching. This has been probably a little longer than normal, but this is a fun movie to talk about. So I may potentially do a Movie Holics meetup with Terrence and GJ potentially if we can get the schedules to work out. So be looking out, and that's it. That's all I got.
So let us know what you guys thought in the comments. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, and MovieHolics.net. Ding.
And you can check us out. We got a couple things going on at Movie Pilot as well, so you can check us out there. And that's it. Ready to high five it out?
High five.
We're gonna high five our own camera out. Come on, Monica.
What?
You have to do it with your short hands.
I don't want no short men. Remember that song? Don't want no short man. Don't want no short man. You're so stupid.